Hey friends! So this is future Lisa because past Lisa forgot to film an introduction to the video you guys are about to watch. But in this video that you're about to see, I am applying a bunch of new product, testing new product that I have picked up from Sephora over the last couple of weeks. I've done a ton of makeup shopping, so we are just kind of diving in and playing with a bunch of random new makeup. So this is kind of like a first impression / tutorial. And the look that I'm creating is not this look, but it is a really great kind of everyday neutral look. So let's go ahead and get started. All right, you guys, let's go ahead and get started. I'm gonna start by priming my skin, and I'm using the Dior Backstage Professional Performance Instant Radiant Blurring and Plumping Effect Primer. So this says it offers 24-hour hydration. My skin has been unusually dry lately. I don't know what it is. I thought it was like just coming back from Colorado, but that was, you know, I don't know, almost 2 months ago now, and the skin is still dry. So this is what the primer looks like. It is not transparent. It has a little bit of a color to it. Let me see. When you put it on the skin, it doesn't have any like radiance or pearlescence to it. It actually looks a lot like skincare. Okay. It has a little bit of a scent to it. Kind of smells like makeup. It does smell like it has a fragrance to it. I'm gonna start by applying it in the center of my face and on my forehead. I'm just gonna rub it all in. Ooh, that feels really nice. So I do feel like almost like a primer that has silicone in it, but not. I have that smoothing effect, but it doesn't feel the same. It feels more like ooh, that feels actually really beautiful. Let's see how it looks on the skin. Okay, that feels really nice. I definitely feel like it is smoothing out my skin, but it doesn't have that quite slippery slip to it. It actually feels like skincare. Like my skin has a little bit of tackiness to it. It almost feels like a silicone primer mixed with a moisturizer. I think that's the best way to describe it. It feels really nice. Okay, next we're gonna go in with foundation, and today I'm using the Luminous Silk by Armani, and I'm going to mix it with a little bit of the Dior Backstage Professional Performance Multi-Purpose Highlighter, Multi-Use Highlighter Natural Glow. I don't know what got into me when I purchased this, but I just thought it was so beautiful, so stunning. It is a liquid highlighter. So I go back and forth between my feelings on highlighters. You know, I think highlighters are really beautiful, but for someone that has, you know, texture on the skin, it can magnify that. So I'm always really careful. I find that liquid highlighters seem to be the best because they just are a little bit more versatile. You can mix them with moisturizers or foundations, put them over foundations. This is what this highlighter looks like. I thought this was really beautiful at Sephora. So here's the texture of that highlighter. You can see that it, you know, it's not real heavy or thick. It is sliding down the hand. Let's go ahead and blend this out into the skin so you can see it's a very lightweight highlighter. It doesn't feel thick or sticky or tacky at all. It's very beautiful. You can see that it gives quite a bit of glow, but it's also subtle in a sense. I'm gonna mix it with the foundation. Rather than apply it all over, I'm just gonna mix it with foundation. So I'm gonna do 1 pump of the Armani Luminous Silk, and I'm going to do a very small amount. This, when you shake it, get this next to the microphone. When you shake it, you can tell that it's very thin. It's a thin consistency. And I'm just gonna do 1 drop of this into my foundation. And I'm going to mix it in with my finger, and then I'm gonna go and apply it on my face and then blend it out with a brush. I think when you can find that long-wearing natural glow in a foundation, that's like the ideal. I also liked the idea of using a pore blurring primer first before using something with radiance to kind of combat, you know, the appearance of pores, make them look a little smoother. Okay, so next I'm gonna go in and blend this into the skin, and I'm using a BK Beauty 106 brush. I'm just gonna press onto the face rather than go in and buff in circles. I talk about this all the time, but if you're new to my channel, the reason that I do this is because you're gonna get more coverage than if you start going in right away and spreading. And a great example of that is my recently uploaded Merit Foundation review. If you didn't get a chance to see that video, check that video out, because on one side of the face, I apply the foundation and I immediately start going in to blend it out, and the coverage is very natural and very sheer. On the other side, I apply about the same amount, but instead I do this technique, and you can clearly see the difference in coverage. It's really, really fascinating. So I'm gonna do this just so I get great coverage. And then once I have the coverage that I want, then you can go out and kind of buff it into the skin. Ooh, this is pretty. This foundation is such a beautiful foundation. It's one that I recently rediscovered. You know, I used this years ago. Gosh, I remember working at the matte counter at Saks. So that was like, what, 18 years ago? And this, did this launch when I was there? I forget, but I just remember I remember loving it back then. And I just purchased a new bottle this year and was reminded of how beautiful it is. Okay, so the skin looks nice and even. It doesn't look heavy. I do have a really pretty soft glow from the mixture of those two products. Oh, and I like that when I turn my face, you can see the light hitting and highlighting. So beautiful. Okay, next I'm gonna go in and apply a little bit of a color corrector under my eyes. I'm using the Fenty Beauty. This is the shade Deep Butter. It's the Bright Fix. This is a really nice product. You can use this as a concealer, but it's also a great color corrector. So I'm actually going to use this in combination with my Lancome Tint Idole Ultra Wear Concealer. I'm gonna put a little bit of this down first. I'm gonna use my finger to kind of place it underneath the eye. You can see that there's like a yellow color to this concealer, so it's a really great brightener. And I'm gonna let that sit for a second, and I'm gonna go and do the other side. Now, a couple things. When you let it sit for a second, it allows the formula to dry down a little bit. That way, when you go to blend it with your sponge, you get a little more coverage. The important tip is to make sure you use your finger to spread it, because if you don't and you let it dry down and then you try and blend it out, you may have like a lot of coverage in one area and then it'll be harder to blend out in the other. So make sure you spread it, then go back and blend it with a sponge. Ooh, so nice. I love new makeup. I feel like buying new makeup really just re-inspires me. I got my makeup done a week ago from my friend Ryan, who is so talented. Oh my gosh. I am gonna have him, actually, I invited him to our BK Beauty office to film a IGTV live, and I'm not sure if it'll be up on BK Beauty's Instagram or my Instagram, but I want him to do my makeup and you guys get to experience his talent. He is incredibly talented. So he did my makeup last week and I just felt like $1,000,000. I felt so beautiful. And it just kind of reminded me to take my time with my makeup. You know, I've gotten in this kind of rut every day, like day to day, I do my makeup so quickly. And I think, don't get me wrong, I think my makeup looks nice, but there's just a whole nother level to like taking your time, being so detailed, you know, really enjoying the creative process in doing your makeup and not just slapping makeup on. There is something special about that because he spent, and I know we don't all have time for this every day. Of course, I don't have time for this every day, but he spent a good hour and a half on my makeup. It was for a shoot. And oh my goodness, I did not want to wash it off. Like I legit wanted to wear it for as long as I could. Okay, so now that I've got that blended in, I'm gonna wait to apply concealer after we've done my eye makeup and see if I, need more or if this is enough. I'm gonna go ahead and prep the eyes, and I'm using the Master Eye Prep set from Makeup by Mario. I have the shade Light, and I'm just gonna dig into both of these with my finger and spread it out onto my eyelid. So I'm gonna be using the Little One eyeshadow palette from Lawless. It is a great kind of everyday neutral mini palette. You get 8 shades in here, a good mixture of mattes with 2 shimmers to kind of add to the lid and highlight. And then I'm gonna be popping on this Makeup Forever Starlit powder. This was fun. It's kind of like a loose, shimmery pigment powder. So first we're gonna go in and we're gonna grab the shade, the lightest shade in the palette, this one right here, and we're gonna kind of dust this all over the lid up to the brow. Next, I'm gonna go in with this shade right here for the transition shade. These shadows have so much pigment to them. They're really beautiful. Someone just came in. She wants to say hi.
Hi.
Okay, let me go back to filming, my love. Next, I'm gonna take this matte warm shade here, and we're gonna apply this on the outer corner of the lid and kind of blend it into the crease as well. Kind of dust this all over the lid, actually. I've really been into like a matte eye lately with just like the smallest amount of highlight and shimmer in the inner corner. Okay, then I'm just gonna kind of take the brush. I've gotten most of the shadow off of it, and I'm really just gonna kind of blend and pull it up so I get this like really like diffused halo of color above my crease. And I'm gonna kind of bring it in here to the bridge of the nose. Oh, that looks gorgeous. Gorgeous. I love that. Okay, next we're going to go in with this Starlight powder. This is from Makeup Forever. It's Starlit powder, I'm sorry. And this is the shade 13. This is a really beautiful, beautiful, like micro fine shimmery pigment. I'm going to show you guys what this looks like on my hand. It's very nice and sheer. It's not thick or heavy or chunky. You do get, you know, quite a shimmer foiled effect, but again, it's buildable. So I kind of layered this a couple of times. I'm going to show you if you just, so here's it applied next to it. Okay, so do you see those two payoffs? So the first one that's heavier, I layered it. And the second one, I just kind of used what was left on my finger and swatched it once. So you get some versatility. Obviously, if you don't like shimmer, this probably isn't the product for you, but I thought it'd be fun. So I'm gonna take my 203 brush by BK Beauty and I'm gonna apply it with this. You could use your finger, but I actually want this shimmer to be a little sheared out. I don't want it to be too intense. So I'm gonna use a brush because a brush will apply just a softer application than say your finger. So now that I have it on the brush, I'm actually gonna take the back of my hand and kind of blot it. And then we're gonna go in and I'm just gonna press it onto the inner corner. Oh, it's so pretty. You can even wet the brush if you wanted more intense payoff. Similar to your finger, you could wet the brush. I'm just really softly, lightly applying this and kind of blending it out. These are nice. You could even put them, you know, on the face, use them as a highlighting powder. There's a lot of versatility to these. So I've applied mascara. Next, I'm gonna go in and I'm gonna add a little concealer. Now, I have great coverage under the eyes. I want a slightly brighter look. I also wanna clean up the side of my eyeshadow to give a nice crisp look. So I'm gonna take the Lancome Ultra Wear Concealer and I'm gonna kind of, you know, wipe off excess. I don't want a lot of concealer here. So really what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna apply right here underneath the eye and then I'm gonna pull it up right there. I'm gonna pull it up right there. And I am gonna use a brush to blend this out. Let's see, what do we have here that I wanna use? So I'm gonna use this brush by Hourglass. It's kind of similar to our 108, but it has a little bit of a pointier tip. And I'm gonna go and kind of blend underneath the eye there, and then I'm gonna take it up here and blend out. You know what, actually, I'm just gonna use my sponge. My sponge is gonna do a better job because I have this nice flat side I can use here, and then I can also use the tip. So do you see what that did? It just brightened the under eye, and it kind of lifted the eye up a bit. To warm up the face, I'm using the Danessa Myricks Cream Bronzer in the shade Light. This product is so nice because it's a creamy bronzer, but it has like a natural matte finish. It almost dries to like a powder finish. It's so beautiful. The light color gives a really nice warm tone to the face, really warms up the face. And I'm just kind of applying around the hairline. I also like to apply it on the jawline and use whatever's left on my brush to apply over the nose. Next, I'm gonna take the translucent powder in the shade Honey by Laura Mercier, and I'm gonna use this to set the face. This is a beautiful, loose, matte setting powder. It gives the skin a little bit of a brightness, and I think it'll work pretty much on anyone that's maybe a little bit lighter than me and then deeper than me. It might be a little too dark for someone really fair, but I'm just using my 108 brush to press this into the skin. It mattifies everything. It also smooths out texture under the eyes and on the cheeks with pores. And like I said, it just gives that slightly golden highlight to the skin. So it pairs really well with the warm bronzer because it gives you that like nice matte highlight and contour, really, really pretty. Next, I'm gonna go in with a new blush that I picked up, and this will be my first time using this blush. It's the Mochi Pop Bouncy Blendable Blush. This is by Kaja. I picked up the shade Aura, and I'm really excited. I was testing this out in Sephora, and I really liked the texture of it, the consistency. It felt nice, and it was a creamy product, but it felt nice and light weight. It also looked like it sheared out and blended out beautifully. This is what the shade looks like. It's a gorgeous golden pink. You can see that gold kind of shimmer to it. So pretty. I knew that applying it with a brush would be nice and sheer and buildable. So I'm gonna take my 108 brush and I'm just gonna kind of press it into the product, and I'm gonna smile, apply it on the apples of my cheek, and then kind of blend up. I was going back and forth between this shade and the next shade darker, but I decided to go with this one. Okay, so I'm a little disappointed with the color payoff of this. The color is very light. I'm seeing more golden shimmer than I'm seeing color. So I probably should have gone with a shade darker. Let me take my finger and see if that helps. It kind of reminds me of like a lighter version of NARS Orgasm Blush. That's really what it looks like. It's pretty, but I need a little more color. The color's a little too light. And if I build it for more color, I just get a lot more of that gold shimmer. Yeah, I'm a little disappointed with that, a little disappointed. It's a pretty product, but I need more color than that. And it doesn't seem like I can get more color by building it without getting a lot more gold shimmer. So a little tiny disappointed with that, but that's okay. Let's go ahead and move along to lips. I bought this new lip pencil from Inglot, and this is the shade 318. It is their Color Play lip liner. And I'm just gonna line my lips and kind of fill them in. I'm gonna skip lipstick today and I'm just gonna go with a gloss. So I wanna make sure that I don't have like a harsh lip line look. And then I'm gonna layer the Lawless Forget the Filler Lip Plumping Line Smoothing Gloss in the shade Velvet. Really excited about this product. Really beautiful. I swatched this at Sephora and it had a nice amount of color. Now it is like a lip plumping gloss, so you know you can expect it to be more sheer on the pigment side. That's why I got a shade that's a little bit deeper than I normally get. I love the applicator on this too. Isn't that nice? It just sits and hugs the shape of the lip beautifully. It also has a really yummy smell. And this is the finished look. I really love it. To kind of highlight some of my favorite products that I tried today, I would definitely say the two Dior products that I picked up, the primer. I will see how it holds my makeup on throughout the day, but I really love the feel of this. I do feel like it's smoothed out texture and pores on the face, and it felt very hydrating. So if you like a pore filling primer, but you don't like that real like silicone texture, you might really like this. And I actually really liked this liquid highlighter. It's lighter for a highlighter, even though it looks, I think the bottle leads you to believe that it's gonna look really foiled and metallic on the skin, but it's actually really nice and natural. You can also mix it, you know, with moisturizer if you kind of want an all over glow. I mixed it with my foundation. You can layer this on top of your makeup. So I did enjoy this product a lot as well. I really liked this Makeup Forever Star Lit Powder. It's so pretty. Remember, it's this light shade that you see in the inner corner, just a really finely milled, loose, shimmery pigment. Versatile, you can pack on and get more intense payoff if you wet the brush or use your finger. So I really like the Danessa Myricks Cream Bronzer. If you are looking for a cream bronzer, but you've not had luck finding ones that kind of dry down, or maybe they're too rich and emollient, this would be a great option to try. It kind of reminds me of the Chanel Cream Bronzer, to be honest. I really love the color. It's nice and natural and warm. If you are deeper skin tone, they're dark bronzer, and they have 3 shades, and their deepest is really dark. It's actually probably the darkest cream bronzer that I've seen, so that's a really nice option. I love, love, love this Lawless Forget the Filler lip gloss. It feels nice on the lips. It's a plumping lip gloss, and it does have that like tingling sensation, but it's very comfortable, pepperminty. It doesn't feel irritating, or it's not burning on the lips at all. It feels beautiful and looks beautiful on the lips. And I really liked this pencil for lining the inner rim of the eyes. It's the shade Coconut, and it gives a nice pretty brightness to the eye, but it's not too bright, white, or stark. This is the one product that I would feel would be a disappointment, and I don't really think it's the formula that disappoints me. It's more of the color that I chose. It's just too light on the pigment, and you can't really build it to get more color without getting a lot more gold shimmer. I think this would be a pretty option for fair skins. It has a creamy-like texture in the pot, but when you put it on the skin, it almost immediately dries down to a powder dry finish. So I think it's a great hybrid between a cream and a powder product. But yeah, I think I will try the next shade up. I should have gone with that one. This again is kind of like a lighter version of NARS Orgasm. So if you like the shade, you would be into it, but if you need a little more color on your cheeks and less shimmer, then I would skip that particular one. I hope you guys found this video helpful. I hope you enjoyed it. Let me know what you picked up or learned from this video. If there's anything that I tried that you own and you love, let us know as well. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you're not subscribed to my channel and you enjoyed this, please hit subscribe, hit the notification bell so you get alerted when I upload new videos. It really helps my channel out. I hope you guys have a wonderful day, and I will see you in my next one. Bye guys.